Welcome to Magical Kingdom, where we explore the enchanting world of magic, fantasy, and adventure. Join us for captivating stories, mystical journeys, and unforgettable experiences. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more magical videos. Today, we're diving into a mystical tale of love and adventure. Our story is called The Enchanted Hearts. So, sit back, relax, and let the magic unfold. Chapter 9, Shadows of the Past. The clearing slowly regained its calm as the last remnants of the dark tendrils faded into the underbrush. Isla stood there, breathless and shaken, her heart racing in the wake of the sudden attack. Eryx, still alert, scanned their surroundings, his expression serious. "We need to move," he said finally, breaking the tense silence. "The Shadow King will not send a warning twice. If his shadows found us here, we're no longer safe." Isla nodded, her heart heavy with the weight of reality pressing down on her. "Where do we go?" "Back to the Enclave," Eryx replied, urgency lacing his voice. "We'll gather the others and discuss our next move. We need to strategize and prepare for whatever comes next." They hurried back to the stone structure, the sense of urgency quickening their pace. Isla felt a knot of anxiety forming in her stomach. They had barely begun to explore her powers, and now the Shadow King was already hunting her. As they entered the Enclave, Isla found Lira and the others gathered around a large wooden table, their faces etched with concern. The atmosphere was heavy with anticipation and fear. "What happened?" Lira asked, her eyes darting between Eryx and Isla. "We were attacked by shadows," Eryx explained, taking a moment to catch his breath. "They're more aggressive than we anticipated, and it's clear the Shadow King knows about Isla." Isla felt a shiver run down her spine at the mention of the Shadow King. She had faced the darkness once, but now it felt closer and more personal. "What should we do?" Lira asked, her voice steady but laced with worry. "We can't stay here unprepared. We need to find a way to protect Isla." Darren leaned forward, his brow furrowed in thought. "We need to gather more allies. The more we have on our side, the stronger we'll be against the Shadow King." Kale, who had been silent until now, spoke up. "There's an old oracle living on the edge of the Whispering Woods. She might have knowledge of the Shadow King's movements and how to counteract his power." "An oracle?" Isla asked, intrigued but also apprehensive. "Do you think she could help me?" "Oracles possess deep wisdom and insight," Eryx said, nodding. "If anyone can provide guidance, it's her. But the Whispering Woods are dangerous. We must be cautious." "Dangerous how?" Isla asked, her curiosity piqued even as her apprehension grew. "Legends say the woods are filled with illusions and spirits that play tricks on travelers," Lira explained, her voice grave. "Many have entered but never returned. The path is treacherous, but if we go prepared, we can find the oracle and seek her counsel." Isla felt her heart quicken. The thought of venturing into such a dangerous place was daunting, but she couldn't ignore the potential for knowledge that could help them defeat the Shadow King. "I want to go," she said firmly. "We can't afford to wait for him to make his next move." Eryx looked at her, pride shining in his eyes. "I admire your determination, but we must ensure that you're ready for what lies ahead." "I can handle it," Isla insisted, a fire igniting within her. "I need to do this, for myself and for everyone I care about." Darren exchanged glances with the others, weighing her words. Finally, he nodded. "Then we prepare for the journey. We'll leave at first light. Everyone needs to be ready." As plans were laid out and the group discussed their strategy, Isla felt a mix of excitement and fear swirling within her. She had trained hard over the past few days, but venturing into the Whispering Woods was unlike anything she had faced before. As night fell, they set up camp within the Enclave, gathering around a fire to share stories and reinforce their bonds. Laughter broke the tension, and for a brief moment, Isla felt the weight of the impending threat lift. She was surrounded by friends, allies who believed in her and were willing to stand by her side. Later that night, as she lay beneath the stars, Isla's mind raced with thoughts of the upcoming journey. The glow of the fire flickered, casting dancing shadows across the clearing. She could hear the soft whispers of her companions, their voices a lullaby that soothed her nerves. But as she closed her eyes, the memory of the shadows clawing at her barrier resurfaced, their dark forms lingering in her mind. What if they came again? What if she wasn't strong enough to protect herself or her friends? A rustling nearby pulled her from her thoughts. She opened her eyes to see Eryx sitting a few feet away, gazing into the fire. "Can't sleep?" he asked, his tone gentle. "No," Isla admitted, sitting up. "Just thinking." He nodded, his gaze still fixed on the flames. "It's natural to feel fear before a challenge. But remember, fear can also be a source of strength." "How do you mean?" she asked, intrigued. "Fear reminds us of what we care about, what's at stake," Eryx explained. "It can push us to be better, to fight harder. Embrace it, but don't let it control you." Isla took a deep breath, allowing his words to sink in. "I just wish I could feel more confident about my magic." "You've already shown great potential," he assured her, turning to meet her gaze. "You channeled your emotions beautifully today. You have the strength within you, you just need to believe in it." "I'll try," she replied, her heart warming at his encouragement. "Thank you for believing in me." Eryx smiled, the corner of his mouth lifting slightly. "Always." The two of them sat in companionable silence, the fire crackling softly. Isla felt a warmth spread through her chest, not just from the fire, but from the connection she was building with Eryx. It was a comfort she hadn't anticipated, and she was grateful for it. Eventually, she lay back down, allowing her eyes to drift closed. The warmth of the fire wrapped around her like a protective blanket, and she allowed herself to relax. As sleep began to claim her, Isla whispered a silent promise to herself. She would face whatever awaited her in the Whispering Woods, not just for herself, but for the people she had come to care for. She would learn to wield her magic, confront her fears, and become the warrior they all needed her to be. The next morning, dawn broke with a vibrant burst of color across the sky. Isla awoke to the sounds of her companions stirring, their energy palpable with anticipation for the journey ahead. After a quick breakfast, they gathered their supplies, healing herbs, protective charms, and the few weapons they had. Eryx stood before them, his expression serious yet encouraging. "Remember, we're in this together," he said, locking eyes with each of them. "Stay close, trust your instincts, and we will face whatever challenges arise as a team." Isla felt the weight of their mission settle on her shoulders, but she also felt a sense of purpose. She was ready to confront the shadows, not just those that lurked in the woods, but the ones that resided within her as well. As they set out toward the Whispering Woods, Isla glanced back at the Enclave one last time, a bittersweet feeling washing over her. She was leaving behind a place of safety for the unknown, but she was not alone. With each step, she felt the power within her stirring, and with Eryx and their friends by her side, she knew they would face whatever awaited them together.